She announced at Thanksgiving that she's pregnant with my brother's baby. I said congratulations and showed everyone the DNA test proving I'm sterile. Now my family is imploding *. I'm still shaking as I write this. Just got home from what will probably be the last family Thanksgiving I'll ever attend. Original post. I, 28M, have been with my girlfriend Emma, 26F, for 3 years. We've been talking about marriage and kids, and I thought we were solid. My older brother, Jake, 31M, has always been the golden child, successful lawyer, perfect life, the works. He's been married to his wife, Lisa, for 4 years. Some background. When I was 19, I had testicular cancer. Caught it early, but the treatment left me sterile. It was devastating at the time, but I've made peace with it. I told Emma about this when we started getting serious, and she said it didn't matter, we could adopt when we're ready. Last month, Emma started acting weird, distant, emotional, constantly on her phone. I figured it was work stress. She's been putting in crazy hours at the marketing firm where she works. Jake actually helped her get that job 2 years ago through his connections. Then came Thanksgiving dinner today. We're all sitting around my parents' dining room table. Me, Emma, Jake, Lisa, my parents, and my sister. Emma suddenly stands up during dessert, tapping her wine glass, which I now realize she hadn't touched all night. I have an announcement, she says, glowing. I'm pregnant. Everyone erupts in congratulations. My mom starts crying, saying she's finally going to be a grandma. My dad is beaming. I'm sitting there, frozen, confused as hell. But how? Emma laughs nervously. What do you mean, how? The usual way, silly. Emma, you know that's impossible, I say quietly. The table goes silent. Emma's face goes pale. What are you talking about, she says, her voice getting higher. That's when I pulled out my phone and showed everyone the fertility test results I've carried in my wallet since I was 19. 0 sperm count. Completely sterile. The silence was deafening. Then Emma started sobbing and Jake suddenly stood up, knocking over his chair. We need to talk, Jake said to Emma. Not to me. To Emma. Lisa looked between them, her face going from confused to horrified. My mom, bless her heart, still didn't get it. I don't understand. If you can't have children, then how? Asked Jake, I said, my voice surprisingly calm. The explosion that followed was intense. Emma admitted through tears that she and Jake have been having an affair for 6 months. 6 months. Every time she said she was working late, she was with my brother. In the apartment I pay half the rent for. In the bed we share. Lisa threw her wedding ring at Jake and stormed out. My parents were in complete shock. My sister just sat there recording everything on her phone. She later sent me the video for legal purposes. Jake tried to explain, saying they didn't mean for it to happen, and you can't help who you fall in love with. My dad, who hasn't raised his voice in 20 years, told Jake to get the fuck out of his house. Emma tried to grab my arm as I was leaving, crying that she loves me and made a mistake. I asked her one question, is Jake leaving Lisa for you? The look on her face told me everything. Jake was never going to leave his wife for her. She destroyed our relationship for someone who was just using her for fun. I'm now sitting in my apartment. Emma is staying with her sister tonight. I told her she has 48 hours to get her stuff out. My phone is blowing up with messages. Emma begging for forgiveness. Jake trying to explain himself. Lisa asking me for Emma's contact info, gave it to her immediately. My parents apologizing for Jake and asking if I'm okay. My sister sending me memes about terrible brothers. The baby bomb at Thanksgiving dinner? That was supposed to be her power move to force Jake to choose her. She knew I was sterile and thought announcing it publicly would make Jake claim the baby. She didn't expect me to have literal medical documentation on my phone. The funniest, saddest part is that I was planning to propose on New Year's Eve, had the ring and everything. Guess I dodged a bullet even if it feels like I got hit by a truck. I'm not okay right now, but I will be. At least I found out before I married her. And Jake? Well, he's about to learn how expensive divorce lawyers are. Lisa's dad is one of the best in the state. Happy fucking Thanksgiving, everyone. Update 1, 2 days later. It's been 48 hours since Thanksgiving, and my life has completely imploded and reformed in ways I didn't expect. First, Emma. She came to get her stuff yesterday with her sister. Tried to have one last conversation where she blamed everything on Jake seducing her and how she was vulnerable because I work too much. I laughed. Actually laughed. Told her that Jake might be trash, but he didn't put a gun to her head and force her into bed. She then tried a different approach, said the baby could be mine, maybe the doctors were wrong. I reminded her that I've had multiple tests over the years, all showing the same result. She knew this. She's been with me to appointments where doctors discussed adoption options. Her sister actually apologized to me, said she had no idea and would have told me immediately if she knew. I believe her. She looked disgusted with Emma. Jake showed up at my apartment last night, drunk, banging on my door at 1 a.m., slurring about how I ruined his life and demanding I tell Lisa it was all a misunderstanding. My neighbor called the cops. Jake spent the night in the drunk tank. My parents had to bail him out this morning. Lisa reached out to me. We met for coffee. Turns out this isn't Jake's first affair. She's been suspicious for years, but never had proof. She's been documenting everything and building a case. The pregnancy announcement was the final straw. She thanked me for not covering for him and said her lawyer thinks she'll get everything in the divorce, the house alimony, the works. Their prenup has an infidelity clause. My parents are devastated. My mom called crying, apologizing over and over, saying she failed as a mother. My dad is barely speaking. He told Jake he's no longer welcome at any family functions until he gets therapy and makes amends. Jake tried to argue that I was being dramatic and it wasn't that big a deal. My dad hung up on him. My sister has been my rock. She drove down yesterday with ice cream and bourbon. She told me she never liked Emma anyway, thought she was fake. Wish she'd mentioned that earlier, but I probably wouldn't have listened. The plot twist? Jake's law firm found out. Apparently, using company resources, his work phone and email, to conduct an affair is against their ethics policy. He's been put on administrative leave pending investigation. Word travels fast in legal circles, and Lisa's dad made sure everyone knew exactly why his daughter was filing for divorce. Emma posted on social media about going through a difficult time and needing support and understanding. The comments were not kind. Someone, okay, it was my sister, commented with screenshots of her texts admitting to the affair. The post was deleted within an hour. Found out from mutual friends that Emma and Jake were planning to run away together after the holidays. She thought the pregnancy announcement would force his hand. Instead, she's unemployed. She quit her job thinking Jake would support her, pregnant, and completely alone. Jake blocked her number after Lisa filed for divorce. As for me, I'm doing better than expected. Hurt? Absolutely. Betrayed? Completely. But also relieved. I've been thinking about all the red flags I ignored, how she always lit up when Jake was around, how she insisted on going to his office Christmas party last year, how she suddenly became interested in legal dramas and would ask Jake to explain things to her. My work has been incredible. My boss gave me a few days off and said to take all the time I need. My coworkers sent me a gift basket with a card that said, "Your brother sucks." You've made me laugh for the first time since Thursday. Already started therapy. First session is tomorrow. I need to process not just the betrayal, but why I didn't see it coming, why I ignored my instincts. The ring, returned it yesterday. The jeweler was understanding. Used the money to book a solo trip to Iceland in January. I always wanted to see the northern lights. Figured there's no better time to start doing things for myself. Emma's pregnancy is apparently high risk due to some complications. She's been trying to get Jake to go to appointments with her. He won't even answer her calls. She made her bed, and now she's lying in it alone. I know I should feel bad for her, but I don't. She knew exactly what she was doing. She knew I was sterile. She knew Jake was married. She made choice after choice to betray me and Lisa. Now she gets to live with the consequences. We'll update again after the holidays. For now, I'm focusing on healing and being grateful I found out before putting a ring on it. Update 2, 3 weeks later. Christmas just passed and I thought I'd give an update since so many people have been asking. The family drama has reached new heights. Jake tried to come to Christmas dinner at my parents' house. My dad met him at the door and told him to leave. Jake threw a tantrum on the front lawn, screaming about how I poisoned everyone against him and how it's not fair that I'm the victim when he's losing everything. My 85-year-old grandmother was there and hobbled to the door with her cane. She looked Jake dead in the eye and said, "You fucked your brother's girlfriend and got her pregnant. What did you expect, a parade?" Then she slammed the door in his face. Coolest grandma ever. Lisa's divorce is moving at light speed. Jake tried to hide assets, but Lisa's lawyer, her dad, was prepared. They found a secret bank account where Jake was stashing money, probably for his planned escape with Emma. The judge was not amused. Lisa is getting the house, both cars, and a hefty alimony payment. Jake has to move back in with our parents, but they won't let him, so he's couch surfing. Emma went into early labor last week. She had the baby, a boy. She tried to put Jake's name on the birth certificate, but he refused to sign it. He's demanding a paternity test, claiming the baby might not be his. The irony is delicious. She's now a single mom with no job, no support, and a baby daddy who won't acknowledge the kid. She reached out to me on Christmas Eve, sent a long email about how she misses me and made the biggest mistake of her life, said seeing me happy in my Iceland trip posts. Yeah, I went early, made her realize what she lost. She actually had the audacity to suggest we could raise her baby together since I can't have kids of my own. I forwarded the email to my therapist with the subject line, "You're gonna need to see this." My response to her was simple: I'd rather adopt a child who needs a home than raise the product of your affair with my brother. Lose my email. She showed up at my apartment on Christmas morning with the baby. My neighbor, who's become a good friend through all this, called me immediately. I was at my parents' house, so I called the police for trespassing. She left before they arrived, but not before leaving a letter begging for another chance. Jake's career is officially over. He was fired from his law firm for ethics violations. Word spread quickly in our city's legal community. He's applying for jobs in other states, but Lisa's dad has connections everywhere. Jake's having to look at non-legal jobs now. My brother with the Harvard Law degree is currently working at a car rental agency. My parents have been in therapy themselves. They're struggling with guilt and trying to understand how Jake became this person. My mom admitted she always favored Jake because he was the successful one, and she's realizing how that affected both of us. It's been healing to hear her acknowledge that. My sister has been documenting everything on TikTok with my permission. Her My Brother's Girlfriend Was Pregnant with My Other Brother's Baby series has gone viral. The comments are hilarious and savage. Emma and Jake have both threatened legal action, but what are they going to sue for? The truth? As for me, Iceland was incredible. I did see the Northern Lights. We met some amazing people, even went on a few dates with a fellow traveler from Germany. Nothing serious, but it felt good to be wanted by someone who didn't know my baggage. I'm back in therapy, working through trust issues, started hitting the gym again, joined a hiking group, basically doing all the things Emma used to complain about me wanting to do. Turns out I'd been shrinking myself for her just like I would for Jake growing up. The most unexpected development? Lisa and I have become friends. Not in a romantic way, we're both too damaged for that right now, but we check in on each other. We're the only two people who really understand what the other is going through. We had dinner last week, and we spent the whole time laughing about how absurd our lives have become. Jake sent me a text on Christmas, "I hope you're happy. You destroyed my life." I replied, "No, Jake. You destroyed your life. I just refuse to help you hide it." Then I blocked him. Looking back at Thanksgiving, I'm grateful Emma decided to make her announcement. If she hadn't, I might have proposed, married her, and then found out years later when she tried to pass off Jake's kid as mine. The universe has a funny way of protecting us sometimes. To everyone going through something similar, it gets better. The pain fades, the anger subsides, and eventually you realize they did you a favor by showing you who they really are. Next update will probably be about how the paternity test goes. My money's on Jake being the father, but at this point, nothing would surprise me. Final update 2 months later, this will be my last update. It's time to close this chapter of my life. The paternity test came back. Jake is the father. He tried to contest it, demanded a second test, but it came back the same. He's now on the hook for child support for the next 18 years. The best part? The judge calculated it based on his lawyer's salary, not his current car rental income. He tried to get it reduced, but the judge said he was voluntarily underemployed and capable of earning more. Emma has been spiraling. She reached out to my mom begging for help with the baby. My mom, who has the biggest heart, almost caved until my dad reminded her that Emma destroyed our family. Emma's parents won't help either. They're apparently mortified by the whole situation. She's had to move back to her hometown and live with a cousin. Jake tried one last Hail Mary. He showed up at my work with Emma and the baby, causing a scene in the lobby. Security had to escort them out. My company's legal team sent them both cease and desist letters. That was the final straw for me to get a restraining order against both of them. The restraining order hearing was something. Emma brought the baby and kept trying to show me pictures of how much he looks like his uncle. The judge shut that down fast. Jake tried to claim I was being vindictive, but when the judge saw the security footage from my work and heard about the drunk incident at my apartment, she granted the order immediately. Jake's living situation got worse. After couch surfing for months, he ended up having to rent a studio apartment in the sketchy part of town. His car got repossessed last month. The golden child who used to mock my Honda Civic is now taking the bus. Lisa finalized her divorce and is thriving. She started her own consulting firm and is already landing major clients. We still grab coffee occasionally. She's dating someone new, a pediatrician she met at a charity event. I'm genuinely happy for her. My parents have done a complete 180. They've cut Jake off completely after he tried to steal money from their house during a visit. They're in therapy and working on rebuilding their relationship with me. My mom apologized for years of favoritism and admitted she enabled Jake's narcissistic behavior. It doesn't erase the past, but it's a start. My sister's TikTok series concluded with over 10 million views. She donated all the ad revenue to a charity for cancer survivors in honor of my survivorship. She's been approached about turning it into a podcast or even a TV show. We'll see. As for me, I'm in a much better place. Therapy has been life-changing. I've realized I spent years making myself smaller to avoid threatening Jake's ego, and then continued that pattern with Emma. Never again. I met someone. Her name is Mia, and she's a nurse at the cancer center where I do my annual checkups. We bonded over terrible coffee in the waiting room. She knows my whole story and doesn't care. She's also adopted herself and loves the idea of adopting kids together someday. We're taking it slow, but it feels right in a way things with Emma never did. Started my own IT consulting business. Remember that trip to Iceland? Met a guy there who needed help with his startup. One thing led to another, and now I have 3 international clients. I'm making more than I ever did at my corporate job. The last time I heard about Emma and Jake was through the legal grapevine. She's suing him for full custody and child support. He's countersuing, claiming she baby trapped him. They're destroying each other in court, spending money neither of them has on lawyers. The baby is the only victim in their mess. Sometimes I think about that Thanksgiving dinner, how different my life would be if Emma hadn't made that announcement. I'd probably be married to her, oblivious to the betrayal, still playing second fiddle to Jake. Instead, that horrible moment led to my liberation. To my brother Jake, if you're reading this, I know you still check. You were right about one thing. I did destroy your life. To Emma, I hope you find peace and become a good mother to that innocent baby. He doesn't deserve to pay for your choices, but stay away from me. And always trust your gut. I'm deleting this account after posting this. It's time to move forward without looking back. Here's to new beginnings, chosen family, and the beautiful life that comes after betrayal. Signing off for the last time. Peace out.